Here at Helmuth Ford, we are a small town dealership with no hassle and no pressure.
Brothers Market in Sigourney is having a 2-day sale this Friday and Saturday. Bring the little ones in. Santa will be here on Friday, December 13th from 5 to 7 p.m. Door prizes and free samples. Take advantage of all the great savings you see. Savings are always made simple at Brothers Market in Sigourney, but especially during the 2-day sale this Friday and Saturday. That's Brothers Market at 118 South Main Street in Sigourney on the west side of the square. It's Christmas time at Mahaska Drug at 205 North East Street in Oskaloosa. They have everything Christmas that you could possibly need in the store. You've got to stop in and check it out. Plus, come see Santa at Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa every Saturday through Christmas, plus on Christmas Eve from 11 to 1. Mahaska Drug also has a wreath decorating contest going on. The annual Christmas giving tree is in store, and so much more. There's always something happening at Mahaska Drug in Oskaloosa. They're open 7 days a week. Stop by for whatever your Christmas needs are. Join the Watch Your Opera House this Saturday, December 14th at 6 p.m. for a festive evening where The Finesse will deck the halls with their holiday magic, delivering a repertoire of classics that'll transport you to the heart of the season. Doors open at 5 and the show starts at 6. It's an all-ages show and tickets are a free will donation. Bring your friends and family and be part of the festive fun this Saturday with The Finesse at the Watch Your Opera House.
Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show.
And now, your hosts of the Card Subject to Change podcast. The for frequency's sake tag team champions of the world, the Wizard CZ, and never wrong, Nick Bull.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Card Subject to Change podcast, the podcast by the fan, for the fan. Of course, I'm your host, never wrong, Nick Bull. I'd be remiss if I did not introduce my tag team partner. We are the co-champs of the For Frequency's Sake Network. The tag team champs. We are Card Subject to Change. We also can be found on the Kickout, which airs Wednesdays at 6 p.m. I'm never wrong, Nick Bull. He is the one. He is the only. He is the Wizard CZ. Wiz, how you doing, bud?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. It's been a fun weekend. I'm excited for what we're going to talk about on the Kickout. We're not going to give that away yet. I'm excited for our guest today.
Me too.
Before we bring him in, just want to remind everybody that we are powered by Lopez Pizza, built by Durham Remodeling, colored by Ryan Allison Tattoo, and protected by Jared Zook of Country Financial. And Nick, we've got a gentleman who we've had on the show before, but he's always been on to hype something that he's got going on in his neck of the woods. Usually he's here promoting a Central Empire wrestling show. Well, we're going to give him a chance to promote himself. And I'm excited.
I am too. When we've talked to him in the past, he has been caught up in the rush of promoting a big show coming up, as a good promoter does. But we wanted to get him. I know he's always busy, but we wanted to get him in a downtime. We could just get him on here, sit and pick his brain, and just talk about wrestling in general. So
Yes,
very, very excited and looking forward to this conversation, CZ.
Absolutely. Let's bring him on into the studio. Welcome back to Card Subject to Change, Austin Bayless. Austin, how are you today, sir?
Good, guys. Hey, I love that introduction. And, there's a really refreshing feeling to having nothing on my mind other than the questions you guys are going to ask me, and wherever it goes, it goes. You're right. When, as a promoter, sometimes you're always like chasing the next thing and you've got so much to say, and I'm just chilling right now, man. We've got a couple of months before our next show, and that feels so good. We'll get to the point where we're talking about that, but right now it's just good to be hanging.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's good to be Good to have the plate empty, so to speak. You got the holidays around the corner before the start of the year and the kickoff of the road to WrestleMania and all that. Hey, we're going to talk about anything and everything on this show. Let's talk about WrestleMania ticket prices. I'm friends with you on Facebook, Austin, and you always put out there good discussion topics, and there's good discussion on your page, right, wrong, or indifferent, whatever side you're on, it doesn't matter. There's good, healthy discussion on different stuff out there. And, it's almost impossible for these three average Joes sitting here to go and be able to have a good time with the price of these tickets. When does it stop?
So I went to WrestleMania 22, 23, 24, 25, and 30.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe when we first started going, it was like, I don't know, $90 to set in the upper levels of Allstate Arena, and Ford Field. $100 would buy you a middle of the road seat, which was fine. No big deal. I think we bought tickets last minute to WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans. I want to say, again, we're talking like $125. So in that span of 8 years, really the price was fairly consistent, and I know things have changed with everything, but and I know it's 2 nights now, but my family and I, to sit in the worst seats in the building, it was going to be $3,000 for 2 nights. And so we've got to get there. We've got to stay there. We've got to eat there. And I love buying stuff. We don't even go into that budget, I mean, we're talking.
And then what other shows are you going to go to? Because there's something constantly going on WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah. So I only back in the day experienced, fan access. Loved it. Had a great time there. Picked up a lot of things from that actually, and brought it back home to Iowa and CEW. But WrestleCade, WrestleCon, this show, that show. Yeah, it's my wife and I are going to Mexico here in a couple months, and we just bought it. And it's cheaper to go to Mexico, including your flight and passport and all of that, than just tickets to WrestleMania.
That's crazy.
It's just wild to me.
It is.
So I don't know if we'll get to go back again. I've seen that WWE has kind of taken this approach in these different concerts where they start out with prices crazy high and then they drop prices. That just doesn't really work for me because I need to take vacation time and plan for it. So the days of me being able just to drop things and go doesn't work. And it's fine, but we watch it. We're fans. Actually, I think the product is better than it's been in a while. I would enjoy going. I would enjoy the camaraderie to go with buddies or my family or whatever. But I'll just hang in my basement like I'm doing right now. Maybe chat with you guys before it starts and have a good time.
Yep. And the line to the bathroom is not very long.
Not very long. And you can be like I am right now, and like you guys are right now. We're only wearing tops and not bottoms, and nobody knows the difference. And it's
right.
All
Right.
I'll make a promise right now. When Nick and I hit Chris Van Vliet status, you will be on our list of people that are coming with us to that Mania.
I love it, man. And likewise. Actually, why don't we just kind of set our sights on making CEW bigger than WrestleMania?
Yes.
And then, we got what, an hour and a half, 2 hours to go, and it's all good.
I like it.
We'll be good. It'll be good. I'm telling you, and you mentioned about, I wonder if the ticket thing is more of a TKO thing instead of a WWE thing. This could be something that they're engineering from the top, don't you think? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not WWE's say on how these tickets go about.
I mean, just at my level, which I think is a very low level promoter in the grand scheme of the worldwide wrestling industry, COVID changed everything, man. The money that was coming out of that COVID time period, especially we're talking like 2021, 22, AEW comes on and they're paying their guys so much money just for the talents, and then everybody wants more money. Promoters have to pay more money. They've got to charge more for tickets. Fans are paying more. Um, I don't know where you put the blame, but I just know that I used to go and I can't now. So I don't know how you solve that. Nobody wants to take less money. I get that. So that's something for those people at the higher end of the food chain than me. But in the meantime, I'm sitting at home. You're sitting at home. We might have been going, So we'll see what happens. Maybe there's a change coming and the world takes a turn and we start having more money in our pockets and we're like, sweet, we want to blow $3,000 on horrible seats and say we were there and have the shirt that says we were there. And
Yep.
but maybe not. Who knows?
I want to ask one more question, CZ, before I forget it. And Austin kind of said something in a comment that makes me wants to say this. Talk about the year that WWE had. Is this the best year from January 1 to almost December 31st that the WWE has ever had? I'll phrase it this way. With the quality of shows they put out, when you look at their PLEs and in the outstanding numbers they're doing, the fans genuinely seem to be happy with what's going on. Like, could this be the best year since, you got to be making more money than the Attitude Era just for inflation purposes.
Isn't it crazy that WWE used to have the mindset of you have to be running 4 or 5 nights a week, 2 different brands, and this is just in my lifetime. When I was in the 80s, they were running 2 shows a day with 3 or 4 different tours going at the same time.
Yep.
But now I'm reading where like they're going to be down to under 200 shows a year or around 200 shows a year, or maybe even cut it. Markets like Cedar Rapids and Moline, our markets that we grew up going to, they're gone. You're not going, if you're doing 200 shows a year or 100 shows a year, you're not coming to Dubuque,
No.
So yeah, I would say obviously that's a sign of good things. If you can do less and make more, then boom, why wouldn't you?
And
Kind
on
of
that,
at the expense of
I
us.
remember back in the 80s going to shows at the old Wharton Fieldhouse here over in Moline. And I've been to shows at the Mark. It will always be the Mark no matter what they call it. But yeah, there's not enough seats for WWE to even think twice about coming here. I think personally, you mentioned Cedar Rapids, you mentioned Moline. I think those would be a great venue to bring ROH shows or smaller AEW shows in.
So my buddy, my son's friend, they went to the AEW show in Cedar Rapids, smaller venue, let's say like 4,000 or 5,000, and they said it was great. It felt good. It felt big. It's 3,500 people. I don't know what they had, but let's say 3,500 people in a 5,000 seat venue seems pretty good.
Yeah.
It seems a lot better than 3,500 and 15,000. And I did Dynamite up in Des Moines earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it felt like. It felt like 3,500 in a 15,000 seat arena. It was awkward. It was rough. So yeah, I love performing in smaller venues. In theory, it costs less, but that's the promoter and me thinking it also, the vibe is just better. When fans are closer, we have more fun. When the lights are darker, it's more fun. When the sound is better, we have more fun. So yeah, I would totally say go that route, whether it be Collision or Dynamite or Ring of Honor or, WWE Speed or NXT or whatnot. Do that unconventional stuff that doesn't totally cut out the rural America fan base that you have, which I think is quite large, really.
Yeah.
Pretty important fan base when you think about it.
That's how I've never performed in the big cities with Central Empire Wrestling. So, if I've done anything and achieved any amount of success, it's been in backwoods Iowa, and I love that. It's been very good to me. I get a little jealous. I just came home from Milwaukee, and they had 2,000 fans, and it's like, gosh, the guy says he doesn't hang any posters, he doesn't do any of that stuff. He just has built this brand, and he gets 2,000 people every year. I'm working super hard in rural Iowa. There's just not the masses there,
Right.
So, but there's still fans there. There's still money to be made there, and that would be a great thing. Maybe if NXT took it on the road in smaller venues and
Amen.
affordable
Amen.
prices.
Yes.